Hello everyone, welcome. This is Paul, and I'm here also with Olga, and if you hear some funny noises in the background, that's probably our furry four-legged children, which I think probably most of you know. So let's jump in. We've got some great things to talk about tonight, and we're very excited to share this. And I was just thinking how excited I am to be talking about it rather than experiencing it right now, as neither of us have cold or flu, and I'm pretty thankful for that. That's the good news during the winter, especially in the work that I do. So hopefully you can see our the pictures we're trying to show to you. And so this may great. So, we're going to talk about some really important things, given that these days, we've had a ongoing pretty tough flu season around the world, and colds are always around, and so we want to talk a little bit about what they are, and are there some ways to prevent getting them? I'd rather not get them in the first place, and that includes maybe how to get rid of some of the bacteria, viruses, and other nasties, but in this case, viruses that can cause them. And we also want to talk about some things to do if you do start to get sick. And so we're excited to talk about these strategies. So let's jump right in. Now, one of the things we were talking about, Olga and I were talking about, is that a lot of the over-the-counter medications that you can buy in the grocery store, they don't have to have any kind of a disclaimer, and some of them, the research on their effectiveness is very doubtful, and even can cause some unfriendly side effects. Conversely, some of these supports that we're going to talk about, we do need to use the FDA disclaimer. And in fact, there's great research that supports their effectiveness and safety. But one of the things that's clear is we're not trying, in this point, we're not being your physician. We're not going to diagnose. We're not going to prescribe. That's not our job. That's a doctor, physician's job. But we do hope that this information we're going to talk about will be useful to you. So, let's talk about for a second seasonal flu. Flu usually has a fever. It tends to come on really fast. It kind of hits you all of a sudden. And usually you feel aches and pains, and it can be really miserable. Now, of course, through the... well, and there's Jessie shaking her head. She doesn't like any of that. So then moving on to the... of course, there's the swine flu or H1N1, these things, and they're in variations that kind of go around the world, and it's a lot like a regular seasonal flu, maybe a little bit milder overall, but it can also cause some of those gastrointestinal issues, diarrhea or vomiting, which that makes it really easy to get dehydrated, and dehydration is one of the concerns for any time that you're sick. That's not going to help. So then the next, colds. I used to think, okay, one's viral and one's bacterial. No, they're both viral. Colds usually have nasal congestion. Usually the fever isn't as high, and it may not have as many aches and pains, perhaps not. It's interesting in some of the research that we've done, they talk about how a lot of times when people think they have the flu, they really just have a really bad cold. But then knowing what are you going to get with the cold is kind of interesting, because there's probably 200 different viruses that can cause a cold. And of course several different major categories of viruses that can cause the flu. So we're not talking about just one single virus. There's lots and lots. Just to make this a little more challenging. So we wanted to jump into, so first of all, are there some ways to not get it in the first place? Well, okay, so first of all, they talk about don't shake hands or never touch your mucous membranes. Don't ever put your hands up to your face. Wash your hands, stay hydrated, make sure you get lots of sleep, and exercise. Eat nourishing food, cut back on sugar. Managing some of the emotional stress, because that does tend to pull down your immune system. They talk about the importance of vitamin D, probiotics, omega-3s. Part of what we know about cold and flu viruses is they're always around, especially cold. So it's not so much never get exposed as make sure that your immune system doesn't get overloaded, doesn't get overwhelmed. And then there's some other really fun ways of helping to kind of, keep your immune system supported. So part of what you see in this picture are some of those On Guard products. And so prevention, the research suggests that the essential oils and those related kinds of products can actually help to support immune functioning. They can be great, and there's a variety of them. This is just focused on one category, if you will. We'll come back to those in a bit. But let's also talk about can we get rid of some of the those doggone viruses that are running around the house? Well, tell you what, there's the diffusers. Using essential oils are extremely useful in our experience and also in research, and we could tell you probably 2 hours worth of stories, and we promise not to keep you for 2 hours, so we're not going to. But the instances of essential oils cutting down the load of viruses and bacteria in your air, in your environment, and then also on surfaces, there's just tremendous research. So for example, even the tough ones like MRSA often are shown to not grow well on surfaces that have been cleaned with On Guard. Of course, we also love lemon, and then you'll see some of these wonderful recipes that Olga put up here for us, including the clove with bergamot, and etc. You can read those, so I won't do that for you.
Yeah, I actually would like to say a few words about these blends. I'm from Siberia, and my family still lives there. And when we were just introduced to oils, I brought On Guard and diffuser to Siberia, to my mom, to my sister. And my mom, she's a pediatrician, and actually during the long Siberian winter, she got sick quite often, so her immune system was very, very, very weak. And
working with sick kids all day can do that too, yeah.
Yeah, and it is a little bit different from what you see in U.S. So each day she can see 20 to 30 sick kids, so it's quite a bit. And so I asked her to use On Guard and in a diffuser in her office every time when she see her patients. And also she was using On Guard internally at home. And what we noticed, she got sick less, which was absolutely amazing. And we all realized that, yes, it works. And another thing, my sister, she has a little daughter. That time she was about 2 or 3 years old. And she also was going to kindergarten, where they had about 15 or 20 kids at once. And all kids in the group got sick, but not our little girl. And it was funny, my sister told me that parents have been asking her, like, what do you do? And my sister always answered, like, I use essential oils. And yeah, and my sister told me that it was kind of, parents looked very surprised, like, essential oils? So it is really funny. And if On Guard works in Siberia, I think it can work in US too, right? So anyway,
fortunately, our area doesn't usually get below, say, 30 below zero.
So yeah, and those blends that you see on the screen, my sister shared them with me. So she was running those blends in her home in a diffuser.
And again, we can tell you dozens of stories, but we're going to try and keep moving because we promised to also talk to you a little bit about citruses. You see oranges, limes, lemons, really fun stuff. And one of our favorite things is, of course, fresh orange juice, fresh squeezed, and we have the old manual, citrus juicer. And also putting in just a drop of ginger with a whole bunch of orange juice makes it taste so good.
Yeah, we don't buy juice from the store just because it's nothing but sugar.
Well, that's one of the things to keep in mind if you're getting frozen concentrated orange juice. They often use that for diabetics who are going into sugar shock because it's the fastest sugar into your bloodstream you can imagine. I don't need that. I want the fiber. I'm not really healthy, so yeah, we don't buy that frozen concentrated.
Yeah, so we use and when we do fresh squeezed juice, doesn't matter if it is orange or carrot juice, we still use fiber. And so what I love to do is using 5 to 6 oranges, fresh squeezed juice from 5 to 6 oranges, and just add 1 drop of essential oil ginger, and it is so yummy, and it is really very immune boosting juice. Another thing that we love to do is, of course, while you are sick, you need to drink a lot of water to get rid of the toxins in your body, and lemon can help you there. So you can use essential oil in your water, or you can use fresh squeezed juice from lemon in your water. And we usually use one lemon per glass.
Yeah, for a good size mug of nice hot water with honey.
Yeah, and actually there is a wonderful recipe on our YouTube channel. It is The Spirit of a Wild Orange. And Paul actually shared with us his recipe for wonderful lemon lime honey beverage. And it is really very yummy, and it helps to kick the flu out. I actually got cold symptoms this year once. It happened on Monday morning, and all I was doing, I was using oils, and I was drinking this juice that Paul was making for me. And so I got sick on Monday, and on Wednesday morning I was absolutely fine. And actually in Russia we have expression, in English it will sound fresh like a cucumber. So, which means I was absolutely happy, healthy, and yeah.
And feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
We've had lots of experiences with using these kinds of, these kinds of things to help us, and we'll talk a little bit more about, but just to help us get through, if there's some bugs going around. Now, we also talked about, I mentioned diet, what are you eating, and here's some of the kinds of different examples of some things that folks in Siberia are eating. When we went to Siberia, arriving late in December one year, came out of the airport, and it was negative 32 or negative 34 degrees, and that's where
by Celsius.
And that's where I remembered. I'm glad I brought with me lots of immune supporting products. So you'll see the salads, soups. I was reading about does chicken noodle soup really actually help with the cold, and even the scientists were saying, yeah, probably. The fluid helps to keep you hydrated. It also helps to kind of that nice steamy hot stuff helps to clear out your sinuses so it doesn't build up so much, gunk, bacteria and viruses and other stuff that can lead to actually increased sinus infection. So, yes.
So what I would like to share is, I grew up in Siberia, and we always had like homegrown vegetables, and we had some fruits. Yeah, fruits can grow in Siberia.
Not a lot of citrus, mind you.
Yes, not a lot of citrus, but like cherry or apples, you can get it in Siberia. But anyway, I used to eat organic food, and basically the meal that I'm sharing with you, it is organic meal. And like you see, there is a recipe with using the milk, and I don't buy milk in the store because it is nothing but water, whatever chemically created milk, whatever. I don't know how it is called, but it is not milk. Anyway, so I used to drink milk from under the cow. It's just fresh milk. So the best option what you can get in US is probably go to the farmer's market and get milk from them, something organic with a happy cow, from the happy cow, But anyway, salad with organic cabbage is very easy to make. Just finely chop. Then you kind of can add a little bit of salt, squish it so it will kind of juicy. Then add garlic into it, like squeezed garlic, and a little bit of olive oil. Just mix it, and it is very yummy. I use a lot of garlic, so you just do it to taste. But like maybe for a half of medium-sized cabbage, I will use like 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. But that is me. You don't need to do that much, but just try to taste. With a boiled beet, very yummy salad. My husband, when I made it first time, he told me I'm not going to eat boiled beet, I said, try it, and he ate it, and it was yummy. How to make it? Boiled beet, peel the skin with a knife, and then finely grate it. Add a little bit of lemon juice, like fresh squeezed lemon juice or essential oil lemon, and also garlic. Garlic to taste, but like for 3 medium-sized beets, I would probably do about also 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. That's all. Mix it together, and you can just spread it on a bread and eat it, or you can eat it without bread. It's very yummy. Well, at least I love it. So Paul told you about a chicken soup a little bit, and in Russia we do a very simple chicken soup. It's basically water, homemade noodles, or whole wheat spaghetti, then onion and carrot. That's all we do. And carrot, we also grate it. And onion, a little bit of stir or fry.
Oh yeah, you would just gently kind of saute.
Yeah, saute it a little bit and just add it in a soup, and salt, sea salt, and black pepper. That's it. Very yummy, very simple. Then, of course, water. You need to drink a lot of water with a lemon, with fresh squeezed lemon, or with lemon essential oil. Lemon lime beverage with honey, I won't go deep into that because as I mentioned, there is a recipe. There is actually a video how to make it on our YouTube channel, The Spirit of a Wild Orange. Then what my dad used to give me, I hated it. But what he usually told me, like, okay, unless you drink this cup of milk with honey, you won't go play outside. So it was a good motivation for me. So he was just warm up milk a little bit and add honey into that, and that's what I needed to drink. You also can add black pepper or a little bit of cinnamon, clary sage, or bay leaves into that. Honey with...
One of the things worth noting, we're not talking about probably the honey from a honey bear that may be from China. We're talking about, to the degree possible, the honey from from your area is better, and the more it's raw, the much better you're going to be as far as the health properties. Once it's been refined that much, it's questionable health properties.
Yeah, like with the honey again, I used to eat like real food, and when I moved to US and when I learned that you can actually create honey, it was like, what? How can you do that? So the honey that I used to, our friends had their own honey farm, and that's, yes, and so this is the honey I ate. This is the honey I know. Anyway, honey with garlic. So this is...
Note on that. One of the things I was reading about recently was some of the scandals around China creating honey out of basically corn syrup and water and a little flavoring. There wasn't even any honey in it. And that, I thought, wow, not honey. I mean, come on, people.
GMO corn.
Yeah, probably at that. Okay.
So honey with garlic, also very easy. Just take a garlic. It's actually really kicking thing. Just grab a garlic, squeeze it, mix it with 1 teaspoon of honey, and also 1 teaspoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of garlic. Mix it and just eat it. It's a bit nasty, but it will keep your, flu or cold out.
Yeah, it probably, it'll be a little weird, but, but that's...
So in Russia, like we also used to drink a lot of tea, like with raspberry tea, with fresh raspberry or just unfrozen raspberry, with raspberry leaves or cranberries. So yeah, you can see maybe like this sound weird to you, but those are really very, very yummy stuff and very healthy. And you can buy it in the internet, and it is available, and maybe some of you can even find it on the farmer's market, but it is really very, very good. So another thing, eat less, drink more while you are sick, and drink more with, water with lemon. Okay, let's move to the next slide, right?
We gotta keep going here. So let's say if you do have symptoms pop up, and as soon as they start, jumping on using, you'll notice some of the recipes then could include carrot, garlic.
Yeah, and this actually also from Siberia, from Russia. All tried, everything works. So it is actually not only for first flu symptoms, but also like for flu prevention. So as soon as this flu season starts, that's when you can start taking it. It's really good. It works. It's very simple. It is cost effective, and it works. So what can be better? So we won't go through the recipes. You can see it on the screen, and we also have it recorded, so you can always came back to it and write it down. The only thing, I wrote 1 liter of warm water. In Russia we have liters. So Paul, 1 liter.
It's about a quart.
It's about a quart.
Liter is just slightly more than 1 quart, so that would work.
Okay, so let's move forward.
Yeah, go forward. So, as you may recognize, we love essential oils. We want, to be careful with them, recognizing that essential oils are very concentrated. They're wonderful, wonderful extracts from plants, but there's some of the oils, such as oregano and cinnamon, that they talk about them being hot, meaning that you'd want to be very careful. You probably wouldn't put it on your skin straight. You'd want to dilute it with carrier oil, and that could be fractionated coconut oil or olive oil, so that it won't be too hot. You don't want to dilute it with water typically, because that actually activates it. You don't want to get these things in your eyes, ears, nose. They'll sting. It's going to be pretty uncomfortable. And watching for skin sensitivity, particularly with folks who have sensitive skin, like young people or older people. You want to be very, very, very careful, and remembering that you don't need a lot. It's much better to use a little teeny bit often rather than trying to use a whole bunch at once. Sometimes we get in this idea of we should just, drink the whole bottle and be done. It's like, no, that's not going to lead to good results. So, using it several times a day. And if you have questions, please, of course, always email us or call us, and we're really happy to answer questions. That's one of the things we want to make sure is that that you can use oils safely and really benefit from them.
And like on each slide, you can see my email. So yeah, feel free to email me at any time, and I will be more than happy to answer.
So this is kind of one of the fun things that leads to how did we even learn about essential oils. Working out in the cold, at least a couple of days a week, often sitting still and sometimes in a snowbank for hours and hours, like 12 to 14 hours a day, I got sick pretty often during the winter. And I got tired of being sick in the winter. And my little sister asked, would you be willing to try these essential oils? And I thought, oh, yeah, sure. Here's some silly, goofy thing. But I thought, hey, what have I got to lose? So I tried. I tried essential oils. I tried On Guard, and I subsequently tried oregano. I didn't get sick as often. It went from several times a winter to maybe 0 or 1. And when I started feeling any of the symptoms coming on, I would really kind of amp up the use of these essential oils. And often it just, I would start with a couple of sniffles, and it ended there. Okay, so could I scientifically prove that was, that made that difference? I don't know, but I sure like not getting sick. I liked being able to do my job and work hard and not have a cold or flu several times every winter.
So here you can see oils that we use if we get sick. And I won't go deep into that. I actually have a little surprise or gift for you. So I put together all recipes that we have been using in our families here in U.S. and in Siberia. So if you email me, goddardolga@hotmail.com, and mention this webinar, I will email you back all the recipes, and it's about like 2 pages with tried and proved recipes. Just email me, and I will send it to you right away.
In our family, that's the tried and true things that we find really help us to stay well.
So here's a recipe for flu shot in a bottle. It's really very popular. This recipe is not mine. You actually can find a lot of recipes for flu shot in a bottle in the internet. So it is one of the recipes that I tried, and it worked. So that's why I would like to share this with you. And you also can use it in 3 different ways. Internally in the capsules, topically, if you just mix all these oils, put it in a roller bottle and top it with fractionated coconut oil.
And if you don't have a roller bottle, that's okay. You could mix it in like maybe a ceramic, probably not plastic, but in a ceramic bowl, and kind of mix it all up and then do the same thing.
Well, you can use it in one of the used bottle of essential oils.
Sure.
And of course, aromatically, you can add it into your diffuser.
Now, let me also note with the oregano, when I first started using oregano, when the capsule, I would take it internally and it would burst in my stomach and it would kind of sting. It was sort of like you just had a big jalapeno. And so I would actually mix a little bit of fractionated coconut oil or olive oil in with the capsule. And that would help to just kind of mix it up so that it wouldn't have sort of that like, ooh, I just ate a jalapeno and it hit my stomach kind of an effect. It's kind of warm. So that's a suggestion I would put out there too.
Yeah, just be careful. And I probably won't give it to the child. So with the child, I probably will use it topically or aromatically. Yeah. And topically, basically feet, chest, back, neck, also along your spine. It will work wonderfully.
One of the great things to do with younger children is to put a little bit of On Guard on the bottom of their feet and then put socks on, because you don't want them to rub wherever it is and then get it in their eyes, because that'll be uncomfortable. So on the bottom of the feet with socks on helps to protect them.
Yeah, and actually my little niece and nephew, they won't go to bed at night before they have their on-guard massage done. So they are demanding for my sister to do this massage with on-guard for them. So it's cute and kind of funny.
Yeah, sometimes kids are smarter than we are.
Yeah.
So I had put this up there. A lot of times, people would say, well, is this all just some kind of silliness? No. Even from, sort of mainstream news sources, you can see there's good evidence that essential oils are shown over and over again to be helpful. That they have antimicrobial properties is one of the things that is shown most often. And as a part of that, I've listed here. Here are some of the different studies. These are in peer-reviewed scientific journals. It's not just somebody wrote up a little flyer, but peer-reviewed journals on how essential oils have antimicrobial and antiviral, antibacterial effects, and how helpful they can be. And they focus a lot on, some of these oils that we've been talking about, such as the components in On Guard, including cinnamon, thyme, and the oregano. These are shown in research to be really strongly antimicrobial.
So what else can be used? Well, peppermint beadlets, I don't know, everyone loves them.
If you haven't tried them, you should.
Yeah. Then Breeze respiratory drops, they're wonderful. They're actually also made with Breeze essential oil blend, so they really soothe your throat when you're getting sick. And of course, DDR Prime, it's a wonderful cellular complex. I also won't go deep into that because you can find a lot of information online. But it is very, very good for supporting your immune system. So here is a Home Essential Oil Kit, which actually has all these wonderful oils that we have been talking about. And it also has a diffuser. So it costs only $275. And if you're welcome to contact us, and we will help you to set up an account and get the best deal on it. So stay healthy, and to you and yours. Mm-hmm. And here is how you can contact us. So Dr. Paul and Olga Goddard. Here's our email, goddardolga@hotmail.com. Our website is spiritofawildorange.com. It's a little bit under construction right now. I hope it will be done by February 1st. So yeah, check back often, because it is going to be a wonderful website filled with tons of information. So anyway, thank you very much for being there with us, and if you have any questions, please contact us.
Yeah, please contact us. We're delighted to work with you and explore how these things could be beneficial.